Recently, I was lucky enough to spend a few days with Asa Vermette, and what I found was a big surprise. Talents like Asa come along once in a generation. At just 18, he's already challenging the sports elite, so I wanted to discover what makes him stand out and whether this kid could be a superstar of the future. Growing up 6,500 feet above sea level in Durango, Colorado, the mountains formed a backdrop for a childhood spent on two wheels. Having already discovered motorbikes, Asa eventually picked up his first mountain bike age 7. By 14, the young rider was competing across the West Coast in both downhill and enduro, eventually winning his first downhill race on an enduro bike despite a snap chain mid-run. Who does that remind you of?
From the United States of America, Aaron Gwin. The only rider
There's
now.
a problem with his bike. He broke his chain.
So, how does a rider get so fast, so young, and win a race with a broken chain? I needed to make a call.
Yeah, with Asa, I just remember seeing him at national champs in Winter Park, and he was running times that were like as good or better, I think, than what we were racing. And he was just like a random kid on a GT. And I was like, who's that kid? But you always have these guys that go really fast at their local track, and you kind of don't think too much of it. But he started showing up at other races and doing the same thing. And it was like, dude, like, this guy's legit. Like, he can go fast everywhere. I think it just goes to show kind of where the sport's going. Like, kids are rotting from a young age. They're aiming at downhill, and by the time they're 18 or 19, they can beat anybody in the world.
Clearly, the timing and environment was perfect to nurture such a young, upcoming talent. Sponsors were beginning to take notice, and in 2023, aged just 16, Asa signed for Frameworks Racing. I talked to Frameworks team owner Neko Mulally to find out more about the early years.
I met Asa in the 2022 US Open, and I offered for him to test ride the bike the Monday after the race. And I think he just probably wanted to ride another day more than he really wanted to test ride the bike. When I asked him, he was like, yeah, of course, I'll come back tomorrow and ride more laps on the track. That sounds great. And I got to ride with him that day, and following him, I was really impressed by his attitude and his mindset. Like, he didn't take it as a test ride. He was just stoked to be out there riding, and he never asked me how fast to go or if we were gonna stop or do a full run. He just got in the start gate, looked behind me, saw that I was ready, and just laid down race run after race run after race run, and just went as fast as he could. Even the first time riding my bike, he just didn't take any time to get used to it, just let it rip. And I guess that's just the mindset that he has.
Despite becoming junior world champion and invited into the Red Bull family in 2024, still few had heard of the name Asa Vermette until Hardline Tasmania 2025. Medina Bike Park is an unlikely venue for a junior to dominate, a track that blends steep technical terrain, massive drops, and full-speed supercross-style jumps. Hardline is a beast of its own. Yet just 2 weeks after his 18th birthday, Asa delivered a stunning first place performance in qualifying, setting the stage for a showdown against the world's best. As the last rider down the hill with nothing to lose, it was his moment to prove exactly how it's done.
Asa Vermette then on track. He'll compose himself. Oh, goes so deep up there. Doing what we thought he might today. 58 kilometers an hour though.
Nice,
He is faster by 0.2 than Goldstone.
So fast, this is where he made up so much time
This is where
in
it's dominating.
seeding.
Yeah, that's right.
Is he gonna do it?
No.
Goes outside.
I don't think he.
Oh no!
Right.
Also a bit of a mistake.
Did stall a bit in that right-hander there as well. And now he's only a 17 is the time to beat Asa Vermette.
Come on.
Asa Vermette. 0.2 clear to the red. What a fight back, but he won.
Oh my God.
And it's Jackson Goldstone.
A worthy second place finish and firmly now in the big league, but could Asa have taken the win?
Let's just briefly touch on Hardline. He didn't take the Australian line, and arguably it would have won him the race if he'd taken that sort of shortcut.
Yeah, he just wasn't aware of it. Troy and some of the Aussie guys found that line, and Jackson saw it watching the broadcast. Whereas Asa wasn't watching the TV, he was warming up a little further away and was just trying to stay away from the pressure of the start gate and kind of roll in before his run and drop in. I think it's just a unique thing. Like at a World Cup, that line would have been found really fast. At Hardline, there's only 30 riders on track. We didn't have line spotters out there. I was the only one there helping him, and I was waiting at the bottom in case he had an issue with the bike. I wasn't able to be up on track or see that.
Unlike Jackson Goldstone, who had the support of the Santa Cruz Syndicate and Steve Peat by his side at the start gate, Asa was alone. If he'd been told about the secret line, would he have taken the win?
I think honestly it was a really good lesson for him. He could show that he was at least on pace to be the fastest guy. I'd say at least equal. That could have probably won him the race. A lack of mistakes could have also won him the race. But I think he can leave there knowing that he's benchmarked himself really well, but he also isn't the king, and it didn't come too easy. So it's a good start to the year.
Ultimately, we'll never know. So the big question now is, how will a small team like Frameworks hold on to such a huge talent?
I think he's really happy with the team and the people that we have in our team. He truly feels like it's family. And in talking to him, I think really all he needs is to get paid fairly. I think he just wants to know that he's at least paid what his market value is. And if he can get that from us, then he'd love to stay. I do think that our team is the best place for him. I've been on a lot of teams, and there's shiny trucks and there's other things out there that we can't offer, but there's a lot of things that you can't really quantify that our team can offer that I think gives him an advantage. He's exactly who I want to represent my brand, so I'll do whatever I can to keep him on the team, and I'm pretty confident that that he'll stay with us and we can grow together over the next couple of years.
Asa not only demonstrates remarkable maturity on the track, but also in social settings. From the moment we met, I was struck by his warm welcome and his effortless blend of professionalism and fun, making him fantastic company. He even proved that his skills extend beyond descending.
You should take up cyclocross. You should take up cyclocross. You good at that? Yeah. Just you and an e-bike.
So that's it. Future superstar material, right? Well, there is still a lot to learn, but the groundwork has been done.
Sometimes he doesn't calculate risks, like he'll take a big risk in practice when he doesn't really need to. A lot of races he'll have crashes in practice that'll leave him sore the next day. So when he can kind of learn through that, I think it's just experience that it takes, then I think, yeah, he'll progress even further than he is.
He has the support and the equipment to bring home the trophies, and if consistency can be found, I, for one, can't wait to see what the future holds. If you want to see more of Asa risking it all, then check out my must-see moments of Hardline Tasmania right over here.